What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on my way to Varstone where my buddy Dallas just towed his C6 Corvette to because something major happened. And if you read the title in the video, you already know it's something very common with a 2005 C6 Corvette. Now, I won't get into too much detail just yet. I'll let you guys see for yourself when I get to the shop, and we'll let Dallas enlighten us a little bit more with that issue, and hopefully we can get this fixed because he already got all the new parts to replace whatever broke, and we're gonna get right on it. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Looks like the boys are already going ham on the car. You ready to send it?
Huh?
Are you ready to send it?
Yeah, I'm ready to send it.
Alright. So, I'm pretty sure this is not supposed to look like this. That's not, well, I mean, sorry, I take it back. That's how a differential looks inside, but you're not supposed to see it on the outside. So, Dallas, walk us through it. Tell us what happened, why, and how is this a thing?
So, don't buy a 2005 Corvette. It has a really weak case. That's it.
It's like paper thin case, huh?
Yeah, it's a really weak case. There is an upgrade. You can either go with an 06 Plus rear diff.
Which costs how much?
If you buy it from RPM Transmissions, it's about $6 grand.
$6 grand for a
$6 grand
diff.
for the full conversion. They send you everything you need.
So, 2006 diff doesn't actually bolt onto a
No.
2005 C6.
No.
So, even though it's the same chassis, same model per se, it's just different.
Yeah. So they were still using the C5 mounting position on the 2005 C6 Corvette,
Okay.
but they removed the rear mount that was on the C5 Diff. So what they've done is I have a new diff here. All right, so I bought a 2002 C5 Z06 diff. It bolts up to the transmission. The only thing you have to do is get a bracket made.
Okay.
I got a little past that because I blew mine up. Once you blow up your stock 2005 C6 diff, it takes out the input shaft that's going into the diff. It bends it.
So that's why I got a new transmission.
That's why I got a new transmission.
So if we would have done this fix before this happened, it would only cost us how much?
Around, you can find the diffs between $600 and $800. There was a guy making the brackets. He was doing about a $150 shipped. I had to pay a gouged price because that guy is not responsive very much, and I needed it ASAP. So I paid about $200 for an adapter shipped, and I have that adapter over here on this other table.
So if you're gonna get a 2005 C6, you can get the diff fixed for around $1,000 and not have to worry about it. Unfortunately, since we just did a clutch job on it, Dallas was super excited when he was going home. He did a little bit of crazy stuff in the car, and then boom, diff exploded. And when the diff exploded, it took out the output shaft on the transmission, which is still in the car, and that set him back another couple grand. But now you got a brand new transmission, so.
Yeah, it's an upgraded transmission. They've done a few things to it.
RPM transmissions.
Yeah, you can check it out on their website.
Cool.
They even put a little fancy sticker right here.
Nice.
So you can advertise to my chassis.
So yeah, now we got to do a different transmission, which is practically the same job as doing the clutch, because if you guys remember from my last video, we already had this off. That transmission was out. It's just now we're gonna separate the actual subframe to get the tranny off, get it replaced, put a new diff in it, something with the bracket, right?
Yeah, so the magical triangle pieces.
The $150 bracket.
Yeah, the $200 when it's supply and demand.
There you go. So yeah, that's the fix to your 2005 C6 Corvette, and also that's how you break it too. So let's get to it. Alright, so last time when we did the clutch, we separated the torque tube with the transmission and dropped it all with the subframe. Now that we're actually replacing the transmission and the diff, which are all connected together, we dropped the subframe on its own first. This way we still have the diff and the transmission in place. Now we're going to separate the diff, drop the diff separately, and then separate the transmission and drop it separately. This way it's a lot lighter, and we can focus more on what we're doing and not mess anything up. Okay, so we got the diff out and we got the tranny out. There's the diff, there's the tranny. So let me explain a little more. I don't know if we got it earlier in the details. What happens when the diff blows up? This output shaft that drives the pinion, with the rotation of it, it bends the shaft. So this is no good. You got to replace the transmission. The transmission is about 1,800 bucks. The diff, like we mentioned earlier, an upgrade replacement is 1,200, or you can get a C5 one for about 800 plus a custom mounting point, so $1,000. So if you do it as a preventive maintenance, it's going to cost you about $1,000 and about half a day of work. If you do it past tense after it blows up, it's going to cost you about $3,000. So it's probably worth doing it beforehand. We're going to transfer all the seals and all the sensors off this old transmission onto the new one, and we're going to start assembling everything back together. So a cool little update, since this is a Z51 package, if you guys watched our clutch install video, you would know this thing actually has a transmission cooler. So it's got transmission cooler lines, they go all the way to the front and they connect into the radiator, so it's all cooled. So the interesting thing about it is there is a mechanical pump on the transmission, so I'm assuming it spins through the output shaft and then pumps the transmission fluid into the cooler. It's a cool little thing, only on the Z51s and Z06s.
I'm pretty sure the Z06 is
yeah.
I'm not a pro. I wish I had a Z06.
Well, correct us if we're wrong down in the comment section. But yeah, cool little package. I don't know if we really need it for drifting, but it's there, so we're gonna keep it. All right, so we got the transmission, replacement transmission on, and we got the C5 diff on. So a little bit more elaborating on how this C5 diff is actually going to work. If you guys look at the C6 diff, it's got mounting points on the side that bolt onto the subframe. And the C5 diff has a mounting bracket at the very end of it, which obviously will not bolt on to the C6 subframe. But the custom bracket that we talked about earlier, that's about 200 bucks. Comes with this machine fitting that goes right into the subframe, right into this section here. You put a new bushing on over here, and this bracket bolts on in the place of the original mount. So now the C5 diff is going to sit on the subframe properly, and it's going to be mounted to the back of the subframe, eliminating the weak spot on the back of the diff. Simple. Hey, and did you figure out if there's any different final ratio in this compared to the C6?
No. So I made sure I got that's why I got a C5 Z06 diff, because they're usually manual.
Okay.
And you need a manual gear ratio, which is a 3.42.
Is that the same as your C6?
Yeah. So the difference with the Z51 is the gearing is in the first, second, and third gear, I believe. I don't know the exact specifications, but they are.
Got it. But is there different gear ratios you can get on these C5 diffs?
Yes. So factory, they came with a 3.42 on all the manuals. Some people that have a lot of power upgrade to like a 3.15 at an automatic. It even goes down to like a 2.80 or something like that.
Got it.
You can go the opposite direction. It goes to a 3.5, a 3.9, a 3.10, and then like a 4.1.
Interesting. So there's actually a lot of options.
Yeah.
But that's not anything you'd be doing at the track, swapping out between sessions, because it's obviously it's a lot of work, as you guys can see. So do your homework right, get a diff you want, and go from there. And by the way, what you guys are hearing is the Disneyland fireworks. No, we are not in the ghetto. Alright, so this is how the mount actually looks. It's not a perfect fit, but once you tighten it up, it squeezes that bushing, and it works just fine. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. We pretty much put it together last minute because we had to do it anyway, so figure we'd share it with you guys. C5 Diff and a C6 Corvette. But then again, if you had a 2005, you'd have to worry about it, but any other ones you wouldn't, right?
No. You save a good amount buying a 2005. It does have its flaws, but it's mainly the rear end. You know, it's always better to get like an 08 because you get the LS3. But, you know, it's a fantasy world where everybody has enough money for something like that.
Alright you guys, this is going to wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions on how this stuff goes apart, just watch my clutch video that we did recently. I'll put a link in the description. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.